very happy with the Asian business. They've grown again this year in what has been a slowing Asian market. The North American business, again, good earnings improvement in a market that's very depressed still. And Europe has been much tougher than we thought it would be. And Europe for us is split into roughly three areas. Northern Europe business is going very well and still very profitable, down in volume but going quite well. UK business, very tough market but still profitable and have done a great job in terms of cost reduction. And of course we're also involved in Spain, which has been very tough. We are scaling back in Spain as fast as we can, and it's been a tough journey. But
and that you've got, I think, is it from memory, two factories in Spain, and you're closing one?
No, we've got two factories in Spain, one in Bilbao and one in Valencia. There's very strict labour laws and all sorts of things in Spain. We're scaling back in both at the moment, and you're regulated, or you're regulated is probably a good word in terms of the speed at which you can close things down or reduce the activity. So we're doing that first, and then we'll make a decision as to whether we're going to close the factory or not, probably in another 2 or 3 years' time, would be my guess.
And you've expanded a little into India with Formica. What's the plan there?
Yeah, Formica, Formica brand has been in India for many, many years, since the early 70s, through a licence arrangement. We've decided to go there ourselves about 12 months ago, so we've got our own branch and distribution business in India now. The product is actually mainly made in Europe and exported to India. It's a great growing market. We think we should be there. We're trying to build up an early presence with a view to building a factory probably in 3 to 5 years' time. And
are you looking at sites for that yet?
No, it's far too early yet. We need to build up a critical mass of volume before we start really looking at manufacturing capability there.
Okay, and are you looking at other countries that you could potentially enter in Asia?
Oh yeah, well we're building a business in Vietnam and Indonesia at the moment, and that's going along very well, supplied out of our Bangkok or Thailand plant. And the development of the Asian business is starting to gain momentum and accelerating growth, and we've got very high hopes for it. We're starting to, we've sort of been very measured in the capital spend, particularly in Asia, over the last couple of years while we've sort of gone through the initial stages of Formica. But now that the Asian business in particular has really proved that it's running the business well and it's growing, we're starting to loosen the purse strings in terms of capital expenditure and wanting to really grow Asia.
How much are you looking to increase that capex by there?
In Asia, or
in Asia?
Oh, I think it's realistic for us to spend. We'll be spending somewhere between $30 and $50 million New Zealand in capital expenditure in Asia over the next 2 or 3 years, would be my guess. In both, and predominantly more capacity, but also there are some bolt-on acquisition opportunities up there, and if they come at reasonable pricing, then we'd be very keen to capitalise on that as well.
Okay, and how's the China market looking for you?
China market is pretty strong. You know, we're a very small portion of China. We mainly service the multinational type clientele. So, for example, a McDonald's store or a Kentucky Fried store in China, a lot of the decor fit out is for Formica product. It's that sort of thing, and the international hotels, which are our core market, and that's continuing to grow very strongly. We are starting to. We've always been at the premium end of the market. We've started to now tackle the middle end. And that's for Chinese universities, schools, hospitals, and we've released a second brand Chinese product, and that's going very, very well at the moment, and the volumes are sort of exceeding our expectations. So, yeah, it's a great potential there, and we've got very high hopes for it.
Just finally, you've recently joined the ASB board. Just wondering, firstly, what attracted you to joining the board of a bank, and what do you think you bring to that board?
Okay, one of the things is, well, they asked me, so that was the first. For me, it's quite a different experience. So I spent my life in manufacturing, so being asked to join the ASB board was quite an honour. What do I bring to it? Certainly as a very key customer and an understanding of the markets, house mortgages and how the consumer thinking is very important to the bank, and so I think bringing a perspective that way, bringing a perspective from a corporate client, I think actually helps. But I think probably more than anything what they were looking for is the operational experience in a large organisation. And it's been interesting, while I think there are two very key sides of running a bank. One obviously is the banking and the financials and the economic or fiscal management of a bank, but the other is there are very large employers of people, and banks are now moving more towards retail and operational efficiencies, leadership, performance, and those sorts of things. And I think I can bring a lot in that area.
Okay, well, look, thanks for coming in, Jonathan. Scareth Vaughan at interest.co.nz with another Double Shot interview.